welcome to Lambeau Field, and we're very excited to be here today to celebrate another session, another great year of our Packers Mentor-Protégé Program. So we're celebrating our 9th year here in Green Bay and also our 1st year in Milwaukee. So we're very excited to recognize our mentors and protégés. And before we get started, I'd like to just recognize members of our board that are here, and we'll name them off. But before that, too, we've got a lot of great guests and supporters of the program that are here today, past mentors, past protégés. Many of you know it's a group that you spend your year in the program, but beyond that, you stay involved, and that's what makes it such a great program. So we've got a lot of those people here today, and also some of our elected leaders are here today. I'd like to thank them for coming today. Also their representatives. Green Bay Mayor Eric Genrich is here. Eric. And Green Bay Alderman Randy Scannell is here. Randy, good to see you. And from Congressman Mike Gallagher's office, I saw Rick Sense is here, right? Rick, there he is. So we thank them for their support today. And to recognize members of our board here in Green Bay, we have John Hartman, Dr. John Hartman, he's here. We're going to hear from John a little bit later. John. Lori Radke is here. Phil Houck, Herb Miller, Mark Mansky, Paul Tutsky, Dave Jarrett. And we also have some experts and residents here that are helping us out. James Harris and Diane Murphy. See Jim over there. And from our Milwaukee program, we have Heather Olson, Wendy Bauman, Anna Blomsons, Lorenzo Bell, and Jim Harris helping out down there as well, and Hugo Nagabaroka, and our consultants, Greg Keel. Greg's here today. Is Greg here? Rhonda Borowitz and Katie Hermson also helping out. And of course, myself, I really enjoy helping out this program. And Anna Steinfest and her sister Evelina Kostovo. So those are the backbone of the program, and we thank them for their contributions and support. We're going to have a few different speakers up here at the program helping us recognize this session. And I want to bring up a very special guest, Barb Lemieux. Barb is New North's Executive Director. A lot of you know the organization, and Barb is their new leader. And we thought it'd be appropriate for Barb to come up and share a few words about what she's doing with New North and how our little program fits into that strategy. Barb.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the New North organization, I wish to extend our deepest appreciation to Mark Murphy and the entire Packer organization in the launch and the scale of the Packer Mentor-Protégé Program. As we enter this 10th season in northeastern Wisconsin, the 76 protégés that have gone through the program have been given access to education, training, direction to other resources, and sometimes even just that friendly ear, someone to listen to. All great programs benchmark their success, and the Green Bay Packer Mentor-Protégé Program is certainly no different. Whether it be the annual revenue growth of companies reached, the number of new hires, the types of training curricula that is needed, new boot camps, how to scale the program to other regions, or the number of new mentor engagements, these are all constantly being measured, reviewed, and managed by the organization and an individual who demonstrates her passion for this program, Anna Steinfest and AFF Research LLC. We certainly thank you, Anna, for keeping us all so focused. New North has launched several new initiatives, and certainly not the least of which is how we support our entrepreneurial environment and how we support our minority business community. We work with many local partners, our local chambers of commerce, our regional economic development entities, other regions across the state, state organizations, our minority chambers of commerce here in the state. We have the African American, the Native American, the Hmong, the Hispanic, and the LGBTQ chamber, and the Wisconsin Veterans Chamber. So we work with all of them and how we can bring programs into this region to support entrepreneurial development. We're also pleased that Anna was able to join us as a board member to launch the Milwaukee program, and Ina's sitting in the back. She's the executive director of the Wisconsin Procurement Institute, and we work with her a lot about making sure that we can connect our entrepreneurs, our companies to state, federal, and local government contracts. It does make a difference, in particular to startup companies. All across New North, efforts have been initiated that identify, create, and scale our entrepreneurial landscape. This comes in the form of new cool places to work, places to hang, access to various forms of capital, matching of mentors, working with corporations in the New North region that are helping their own entrepreneurs and their own employees with their own product development, are expanding the Kiva micro-lending program for women-owned, minority-owned, and veteran-owned companies in designated areas right here in our New North region. New North takes pride in celebrating everyone's talent, and we are very proud to be involved in the second annual state conference, which will be brought to Green Bay on April 28th and 29th, called Toward One Wisconsin. Kelly Armstrong and I are co-leading the local regional committee. This conference is devoted to building communities of equity and opportunity. And certainly, Mark, we could not be more proud of the work that you have done, the Packer organization, Microsoft, and the building of Titletown Tech. It has certainly exceeded all of our expectations. Thank you so much for that. I can tell you that as a new mentor myself to the Packer Mentor-Protégé Program, I am receiving as much as I am giving. In fact, I'm getting more back. This program allows us all as mentors to evaluate and share successes and mistakes that we have made when we launch that first nonprofit or company. Some may say that all businesses start out as nonprofits, and I guess that's true. In closing, it is with great pride that we thank and acknowledge the leadership of the Green Bay Packer organization with Mark Murphy as its leader, who through efforts such as this program, along with its being phenomenal supporters of countless other initiatives all across this region, they are fostering inclusive strategies and cultivating an environment where everyone achieves their full potential. Congratulations, Mark and team, Aaron, for the program's dynamic success, and here's to another decade.
Thank you, Barb. Appreciate that, and continued well wishes to you and everything you know. Look forward to all the adventures that lie ahead. And now, next up, we'd like to invite Packers President CEO Mark Murphy. Mark.
Thank you, Aaron, and thank you all for being here today. It's great to see the excitement here at Lambeau Field as we celebrate another great year for the Packer Mentor-Protégé Program. I was down in Miami yesterday for the Super Bowl. We should have. I don't even want to think about it. We could have beaten the Chiefs. That's all I'm going to say. But after getting over the loss to the 49ers, I've kind of reflected on the season, and it was a pretty good season, you know, all things considered. I think particularly with a new coach, and so we're very pleased. And you know, we really think that we can build on the success that we had this year, much like Anna has built on the success that we've had. And once you start winning, it's hard to keep winning, and that's the sign of a really great organization. But I feel very confident in both the Packers and as well as the Mentor-Protégé Program. And you know, from the Packers' perspective, we're so pleased with the program. When we started it, you know, almost 10 years ago, it was with the thought of, you know, we're a community-owned team, and think of different ways that we can give back to the community. Obviously, you know, you can make donations, charitable donations, but for us, you know, to be able to give in this way with an eye towards economic development, really, in the long term, you know, can have a tremendous impact. and that's really what we've seen already. And, you know, Barb mentioned Titletown. We see Titletown and then Titletown Tech in our partnership with Microsoft particularly tying in very well with this program. And we're really excited about it, and I think, you know, with our move this year into Milwaukee, really has taken it another step. And we're really pleased and excited to be a part of that. You know, I know Anna's going to talk a little bit about some of the specific numbers, but you know, when you look at it, the impact that we've had is pretty remarkable. We've seen tremendous growth of small businesses and job creation here in Northeast Wisconsin, and now it's growing across the state. You know, over the 10 years, it's been more than $60 million in revenue by Protege businesses. 32 communities have been positively impacted. And as I mentioned before, this year we officially expanded into Milwaukee and looking for further development there, which I know will do well, make a huge impact down in southeastern Wisconsin. You know, on behalf of the Packers, I want to thank you know, both not only the mentors but also the proteges. We know you put a lot of time and effort into it, and I really do appreciate that. And Barb, I didn't realize you were a mentor. I mean, that's great to have that kind of a experience, and we know that the time and the energy is significant, and we appreciate it. You know, I also, Aaron mentioned, and we do want to thank the program's board of directors. You really have given us the leadership we need to have this program done well. And I would be extremely remiss if I didn't give special thanks to Anna Steinfest. I think you all know, everybody that's worked in this knows she's the engine that drives it. Your passion for this program, you are not going to let this do anything but be a great success, and it's a tribute to you. Again, thank you to Anna and everybody that's had a leadership involvement in this. Aaron Popkey has been here from the beginning and just done a great job. Katie Hermson as well. But I want to congratulate everybody for their investment in this community. And also, I know a lot of people are here supporting loved ones or family members. I want to thank them for giving us your family members, because we know the time that they devoted this is pretty significant. So thanks again. We're really excited to see this program continue to grow and have a tremendous impact across the state here in Wisconsin. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. That sounded like we should make plans for Tampa next year. So we'll keep that in mind.
You said that, not me.
Sorry, media in the room. So now in our program, we'd like to hear from Anna Steinfest. Anna is a facilitator and administrator of the program, as everyone has said, really the lifeblood and the energy that keeps everyone inspired and going. So.
Thank you. True mentorship is not the filling of a pail, but a lighting of a fire. Vince Lombardi didn't teach the Green Bay Packers to victory. He inspired them to it. He didn't give them achievements. He gave them the training and the tools and the opportunity to earn it for themselves. Vince didn't believe that you can be an empty pail just waiting for someone to pour their secrets of success into you to be successful. He knew that real success could only come from someone who was already full of drive, of determination, of unshakable faith in their mission, who was already waiting and ready for the spark of opportunity to blaze their own trail. 10 years into the Mentor-Protégé Program, we believe the same thing. We have had a front row seat to see what happens when you take someone with passion and potential and connect them with a mentor with the vision and the experience to take their proteges to the next level. to help their proteges recognize their weaknesses, better understand their hurdles and their obstacles, and then light the match, sharing the insights and the connections and the tools they need to get to that next level. This year, one of our protege was Ed Swanson. Like another one of Wisconsin's most famous citizens, General Douglas MacArthur, Ed was a soldier. And when General MacArthur said that Americans never quit, and that the best luck of all is the luck you make yourself, he might as well have been talking directly to the character and the courage of Ed Swanson. Serving as a member of the 2nd Marine Division in the 2nd Combat Engineers Battalion, Ed was part of the tip of the spear assault during the First Gulf War. After coming back and settling into family life, Ed chose a change in career to give him more time with his young family. Little did he suspect, though, that his harshest review wouldn't come from a drill sergeant or commanding officer, but from his 3 young teenage kids when one night he was attempting to make them pizza. After his first attempt got failing grade from his 3 young food critics, he did what every good soldier does. He stood right back up and looked for a new opportunity to achieve his mission. 3 well-satisfied kids. He took the leftover dough, filled it with ingredients, rolled it up, and baked it. And it was a huge hit. In fact, it was such a huge hit that he soon found himself supplying over 130 locations, an investor who purchased a majority ownership in his newfound company. And then, in less than a year and a half since it started, it was over. When growth demanded additional resources that his investor couldn't provide, Ed's investor chose instead to close down the business, leaving Ed with nothing. Almost nothing. Ed still had his passion. He still had his drive. And with the help of his mentor, Ed found the tools and the resources he needed to rebuild his business. Ready Eddie's 2.0 has been back on the market and is already back in stores with plan to expand to 8 new states and route to a nationwide distribution. Ed's story is extraordinary, but it's by no means unique. In the 10 years since the Green Bay Packers became the first professional team to adopt the program, the Mentor-Protégé Program has created more than 250 jobs. The Protege has acquired more than 4,600 new clients. Their annual revenue reached $62.4 million. It's done so without handouts and without government funding. The mentors get to receive their due recognition for their generous involvement and also the opportunity to take the protege under their wing that can rekindle their own entrepreneurial passions. The proteges, they receive firsthand real business advice, strategies, insights, and guidance that has not only generated new revenue and created jobs, but in cases like Lakeisha Lovett, saved lives. Lakeisha Lovett joined our program last year, and Lakeisha's story, if you don't mind me saying, made me a little unhappy and disturbed. I was disturbed that it wasn't until meeting Lakeisha, hearing her efforts, that I learned that African American mothers in Wisconsin have the highest level of infant mortality in the nation. I was completely unaware that a black baby born in Wisconsin was 3 times more likely to die at birth than a white one. But Lakeisha's efforts didn't just encompass awareness. They also encompass solutions. Rather than waiting for the launch of the program in Milwaukee, Lakeisha drove to Green Bay for every single meeting, partnering with Renita Robinson, the CEO of YWCA, and expanded her initiative Encompass Solutions into a thriving, sustainable business model that would address issues ranging from medical and birthing discrepancies to homelessness, to educational barriers, to positive parenting, and so much more. Yes, she's creating jobs. Yes, her company's financials have never been stronger. And yes, that Lakecia has learned skills and training and access opportunity through her mentor that have transformed her business. But what examples like Lakecia and Ed really show is how much untapped potential there is all around us. For every Ed and Lakecia are too many others who might be just as passionate and just as driven, but who never get the chance to find a mentor who can help them to reach that next level. As much good as we've done with this program, working with 76 protégés, 52 mentors, impacting 32 communities, we are only scratching the surface of the program's potential. We don't believe that the program can only succeed in Green Bay any more than Kim, Page, and Metzner believe that being an art consultant can only succeed in New York and LA. But Kim's passion for art was only matched by her passion for Wisconsin, and she believed that with the right idea, the right passion, and the right support, a good idea isn't limited to where it's always have been. Kim believed, as we at the program believe, that no community should be marginalized or written off or taken for granted. As an art consultant, she believed that her business to connect businesses with beautiful works for community artists, from community artists, wasn't an opportunity that should be limited by geography. To take local artists who have passion and skills and dedication and connect them to the people and networks and opportunities that would finally give them the chance to thrive while creating and sharing something that enriched the lives of others in the process. As a program, we believe that our model to connect business owners with mentors from the community businesses isn't an opportunity that should be limited by geography either. For the last 10 years, we have taken local entrepreneurs who have passion and skills and dedication and connected them to people and networks and opportunities that could give them a chance to thrive, while also creating and sharing something that enriched the lives of our community in the process. Like Kim, we passionately believe in what we do and in its ability to thrive and benefit in new and untapped markets. Like Lakecia, we believe that the work we do is too important to too many people to back down from. And like Ed, that failure is not an option. Americans aren't quitters, and neither are we. With your continual involvement and support, this program will grow and thrive. Looking around this room fills me with enthusiasm for how much we've all accomplished together. You have shown, as Lombardi said, that leaders are made, not born. You have shown, like Lombardi said, that people who work together will win. You have shown, like General MacArthur said, that Americans are not quitters. And you've shown America just how bright the spark of potential and opportunity still burns. And now it's up to each of us to light the match and lead the way. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Anna. Now we'd like to bring up one of our protégés, the team of protégés, Tina and Jim Schilke, and hear from them their experience. Tina.
Thanks, Erin. My husband, he's not up for this part of the gig, so it's me. And I need to tell you, my family did a great job raising a Packer fan. So this is challenging for me. So if I get a little emotional, just hang in there with me, okay? This is big for me. But let's start with a question for all the current, future, and past protégés out there. Do you remember listening to how the Green Bay Packer Mentor-Protégé Program works? And that there was a possibility to win? To become MVP? I do. Dang, I wanted to win. I whispered in Jim's ear, I want to win that. Jim gave me some good feedback. That's not why we're here. That's not the point. I knew my husband was right. It's the spirit. The spirit of entrepreneurship and the spirit of growth and learning, and also the spirit of listening and seeing what others see about you and about your company, about what is working and what isn't. Having a mentor is like having a really good mirror. You can see stuff you might not want to see, stuff you might not like, but that's the beauty of it. Once you can see it, you can be responsible for it and do what you need to do to make sure that those blind spots are no longer weaknesses. Oh, and that really good mirror also talks to you and has experience and great ideas. Who doesn't benefit from that? Vince Lombardi said, the spirit, the will to win, and the will to excel, these are the things that endure. And these are the qualities that are so much more than the important, and more important than any of the events that occasion them. And then we got started. Jim and I had our first couple of meetings with Michael, and we were tackling our homework and off and running with all kinds of new energy working on our business. Next thing we knew, it was March, and we were just getting into the meat of a project with a construction company in Waukesha. The owners wanted to sell, but first needed to build up the value of their company and prepare that next generation of leaders. It was a project that matched our purpose and our value. We were getting paid well, and we were making stuff happen. That's when shit got real. Yeah. One of our senior and best consultants decided he was moving to Iowa, and he was not going to work with us anymore. I got 3 days' notice. I'd worked hard to fill his plate and mine with work and to bring in a few more consultants. I knew we had to slow our roll. I called our mentor, Michael. He reassured us, but also said, you might need to take a look at and reset your revenue and profit goals. It's okay to do that. Just make some adjustments based on what's happened. That was heavy, but we did it. And I also brought the problem to the quarterly meeting with my protege peers and the board members and the mentors who were there. I got great feedback and even better questions. I worked with many, and Dr. Hartman even spent some time with me to talk about ways to reinvent what compensation looks like in our firm. That was transformational. I learned more and more from my protege peers, and at each meeting with my mentor, our team got a lot more fearless. Our clients were reaching new heights. The feedback we were getting fueled us further. There was no doubt we had a lot to do, and a lot we could do, and possibilities kept presenting themselves. I was more open. I was more supported, and more myself. Our operations transformed. Our behaviors as business owners transformed. Our brand and thereby our sales and marketing transformed. Our services transformed, and we innovated new services that transformed our business model. The results? We doubled our revenue. We increased profit. We blew our original, not our adjusted, goals out of the water. And at the end of the program, we had a strong book of business that included working with a large global manufacturer in Kohler, Wisconsin. I think you know the one. And we had a less crazy schedule too. We came to this event last year. We saw and listened to the protege stories that highlighted every reason why the Green Bay Packers Mentor-Protégé Program is so valuable. Their stories showcased what the spirit of entrepreneurship is and how courageous it is to be a business owner, a protege, and a mentor. I was so dang honored and grateful just to have gotten to know these people and that they shared so much just so I could learn. I still benefit from all of this in the alumni meetings. And at the end, Dr. Hartman started telling my story. When announced, I couldn't believe that I earned the MVP award. I mean, think about it. Our company has an award with the Green Bay Packers brand engraved right in it. I think about it every day. How do I align with the Packers brand? And how do I honor my fellow proteges and the mentors and the Green Bay Packers spirit in my company? I mean, really think about it. The Green Bay Packers have never been and will never be about losing or resignation. One of the big reasons why our company, Change Management Communications Center, continues to soar is because we intentionally serve our own team, our clients, and our community in a way that aligns with Green Bay Packers' values of teamwork, commitment, the sacrifice that comes with success, discipline, the will to win, leadership, excellence, mental toughness, habit, faith, passion, and winning. We lift each other up when something goes wrong, and we celebrate when the play and the player gets it right. If you want to see more about our own transformation and how we live out the spirit of this program, come to our event at the Waters in Oshkosh, February 13th. That's the day before Valentine's Day. Each of you are invited and welcome. We'll share our company's big reveal and our own transformation that evening. I have the invites here with me that you can take home. Vince Lombardi said it best. You can't always be first, but you have to believe that you should have been, that you were never beaten, that the time just ran out on you. If you don't think you're a winner, you don't belong here. And from what I see around this room, every one of us belongs right here.
Thank you, Tina. Very exciting. Tina was, of course, our MVP last year. And now we are very excited to hear from one of our mentors, Renita Robinson. Hear how the program has been going for her and her protege.
Thank you so much. I'm so pleased to be here. Thank you for the invitation, Mark, and the whole Protege program. Thank you all for doing something that really changes lives. I wasn't born in Green Bay, but I got here as soon as I could. I am so pleased that last year at the program that I had the opportunity to just be in the right place at the right time. I was sitting where many of you all are sitting, and I was enjoying the program, and I was being wowed by the investments that were made in the proteges, and I was being wowed by another example of how much the Green Bay Packers gives to the community. I was like, man, this is a pretty sweet deal to be a part of this community and to be around folks that care that much. And before I left, I had signed up a new mentee. And I was like, okay, well, I'm in for this ride. And little did I know that I would be connected with an individual who would change my life, just like many of you all are on the verge right now, not thinking about it, of changing somebody's life. Mentor, a trusted counselor, a guide, a tutor, a coach, Mentors often sign up and they are signed up to make a contribution and they leave feeling like, wow, that was no fair. I got way more out of that than I gave. And that is my story as a mentor of Lakeisha Newman. I'm a different person because of my time with Accomplice Solutions and hearing some of the things about infant mortality in Wisconsin that make you not be able to sleep at night. And so I am encouraged today by the reminder of what it is to have a mirror. And I love the synergy when you're in the right place at the right time, because I didn't know she was going to talk about mirrors and that kind of thing. But I thought I would share today that every protege, every mentor really needs a mirror. How many of you all checked yourself out before you got in here today? Yeah, we all use a mirror, right? We need a mirror because sometimes we need to just know how much we matter. We need to be reminded, and the mirror gives us a reflection of that. We need sometimes to have a mirror because we need to know that whether we think we are or not, we're really important to the people at arm's length from us. We don't think about that often. A matter of fact, I bet many of you didn't get up thinking, I'm going to change somebody's life today. But you did. Thank you for changing my life, because if you weren't sitting in the seat that you're sitting in right now, my life would be different. We need a mirror because we need to know that we are relevant. We are relevant to every conversation that we've ever been in. We're relevant. And we need a mirror because we need to have an understanding that by virtue of our humanity, we connect, and in that connecting, we develop a relationship with the people that are around us, the people that see us when we walk by them in the hallway, the people that hear our name and it makes them smile. We all need a mirror because we need to be reminded that when things get difficult, that those difficulties really are just an opportunity. They're just an opportunity. I like to say they're opportunities for character development. And we don't often think about that when we have challenges in our life. But proteges bring those challenges to mentors, and mentors have the privilege and the opportunity to kind of share the ring and the rubble of it all. And so lastly, we need a mirror as mentors because we need to look at the reflection and recognize that where we are is simply a place that needs a reframe. Because when we wake up and we look at the situation and we see it head on, sometimes we're like, oh, this is too big, this is too hard, this is too difficult. And we just need to reframe it. And so, of course, I built on the acrostic, or I built an acronym off the word mirror, and I started by saying that we need to just have a reflection to remind us of all of those things, that we matter, that we're important, that we're relevant, that reflections are important, and that the things that are difficult for us are an opportunity, and that we get the privilege of reframing the things that are happening in our lives. We get the privilege of recognizing what Paulo Freire, who was a Brazilian educator, said when he introduced the idea of conscientization. Let me read it for you. Conscientization is the process of developing a critical awareness of one's social reality through reflection and action. Action is fundamental because it is the process of changing the reality. Paulo Freire said that we all acquire social myths which have a dominant tendency, and so learning is a critical process which depends upon uncovering real problems and actual needs. He was also famous because what he said is that every teacher is a learner. And education, pure education, works best when there is this exchange. And instead of thinking as the mentor that I have so much to teach Lakeisha, that I come prepared and recognize that she has so much to teach me. And then in this sweet exchange that I grow taller and my voice gets louder and we save more babies and more people have an understanding that they have to do something about infant mortality in Wisconsin among African Americans. And so I was Lakesia's mentor, and I am stronger, I am smarter, I am braver about concepts and issues and conversations that need to be had that some people don't want to listen to. And so Packers Mentor-Protégé Program, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Thank you so much for making me smarter. Thank you so much for changing my life. It was short and it was sweet, but I am grateful to have been here, and I thank all of you and ask that you look around for the opportunity to perhaps mentor somebody didn't even know that you were in the building. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Renita. That's fantastic. So we come here today knowing we're going to hear about the program and hear about a few stories about a mentor or protege, but I think we all have some action items to take home. Very, very, very appreciated. And at this point, I'd like to bring up Anna to go through our session participants. We're going to invite them up to, actually at this point we'd like to invite the whole group.
Yes,
Right? All Green Bay group, mentors and proteges, please come up to the front.
Everyone now,
From Green
there.
Bay. And we'd like to bring Mark up, and we're going to,
Yeah, we'd like
now
to
that we've got
make it-
everyone up here, have Mark stand here, and we're going to bring our mentors and proteges come over to Mark, and we'll have a picture taken. So Michael Troyer and Kate, come on over. Stand on Mark. There we go. Kate Dillenberg. There we are. And you can head back to your chairs. And then we have Richard Alcox and
Kevin.
Kevin Potts.
Yeah.
There we are.
Congratulations. Yeah. Congratulations.
And Joe Egener and Ed Swanson. Joe and Ed.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Excellent. We'll bring up Brad and Kim. They're right over here.
Yeah, congratulations. Yeah. Right.
And Pete and Nick.
Oh, that's growing, yeah.
Pete's out here, right?
Not that I. But very good.
And Jerry and Jennifer, I don't think they're here.
They're not here today.
All right. And Tony and Damien. And Scotty and Dick.
Congratulations. Oh, yeah, good timing, Dick.
All right. And Paul and Peter.
Peter, how you doing? So what was your mentor like? You said that, huh? No, congratulations.
And Raymond and Brenda. No Ray. All right.
Brenda. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And Jim and Nathan.
Oh, they will. Congratulations. Yeah.
And Renita and Keisha.
Congratulations. What a great program.
Excellent. Well, thanks to all our Green Bay folks. we'd like to invite our Milwaukee teams up.
No, yes, the Milwaukee.
Do similar. We'll start out with Lorenzo and Kate. All right, thank you. Philly and Sammy. I think Leslie and Michael are here, right? Person and
Doug.
yeah, Doug. David and Annette.
Congratulations. David, thank you for your participation.
And Neville, whose protege Caroline could not be.
Yeah.
But
How you doing? Yeah.
thank you, Neville. All right. Well, thank you to our Milwaukee. And now, we would like to bring up Dr. John Hartman, who is our chair, who's going to have a few comments on behalf of the board and also announce our winners this year. John?
All right, well, now comes the fun part. Yeah, the part of the program that a lot of the proteges are looking forward to find out who's going to win. But we also, as a program, have been growing and evolving. As you can see, it's a little bit different format than in years past. And that's because we're taking on a lot more proteges each year that goes by. And so now we've split them up into 2 groups, and we do every other month, where we used to do quarterly, but it got too big of a day to do everybody on the same day once a quarter. So we're evolving and growing too, which is always great, and it's wonderful to see how much bigger the room gets and how many more people are involved in the program. And it's a real great pleasure and I'd like to thank everyone on behalf of the board. So we're going to go ahead and get started, and because of time constraints, we're going to be kind of shorter on the bios, but we'll go ahead and dive right in. So the first most valuable protege, we were trying to decide, and we couldn't decide, because the group gets bigger, it gets harder to pick one exceptional protege and one exceptional mentor out of the entire group. It was bad enough when there was only 7 of them, but when we get to 16, 18 of them, it makes it impossible. So we're going to be handing out 2 at the Green Bay most valuable proteges and most valuable mentors. And so the first one is Anna P. Brewery with Nick Calloway. He's done a great job. He's done a great job expanding his business statewide and increasing the number of clients that he's got. He's building a brick and mortar brewery right in Howard, which makes me extremely happy because I'm a huge Anna P. Brewery fan, and I live in Howard, so good choice of location. And I might have had a say in making sure he got it. And he's also now hired a manager to take on some of his other duties so that he can really focus on some of the strategic aspects of growth. So congratulations, good job. And so our second most valuable protege goes to Foam Fit Tools, Peter Meyer. And so I apologize. Nick Calloway was mentored by Goodwill Industries, and Peter was mentored by Paul Tusky. So Pete has increased his net profits by over 60% and doubled his workforce in the last year. And so he spent a lot of time reviewing his processes and cross-training his staff, and really worked on building efficiencies within the processes. And obviously he's got success because the numbers, they speak for themselves. Congratulations. And again, as the program evolves, we have now come up with a new award, and we call it the Comeback Player of the Year. So for the first time in Green Bay, we're going to announce a comeback player, and that will be Brenda Leopold. She had, her company is world headquarters in the
Were you intern last year?
I think I'm a college intern for sure.
Her company's world headquarters, and they provide co-working space and daycare services. And she was mentored by U.S. Bank. And so at the beginning of the year, she had a whole bunch of different concerns. She had a problem with her primary investor and her location. She was thinking about closing down the business, but she was able to work with her mentor and the rest of the proteges and mentors group in the group and open up a new location and a second location in Oshkosh. So congratulations. 3 and 4 are on the way. All right. So that's the Green Bay. I missed the mentors in this page there. So the most valuable mentor, number 1 in Green Bay, is Jim Robinson of Wisconsin Ordnance. He guided his protege to radically transform the focus of the business, and he did a strategic review looking at reducing fixed costs and increased gross profit, and of course to improve cash flow because cash is king. He took a leadership team through some team building exercises and worked with them on how to be able to set strategic goals and hold each other accountable to them. So congratulations. And our second most valuable mentor is Michael Troyer. He was also a mentor in session 8, and he worked with his protege to help them through a lot of tough times. They had HR issues and trying to get the right employees to work in the right places, and with his guidance, they were able to refocus and exit some markets and make a more profitable business. And his protege grew 40% in the last quarter, and it's now basically set the stage to be able to dominate her niche market. And it was the protege was Bisley Fabrication, and my apologies, the previous protege was Crucible Metal Solutions. And I get the great pleasure of handing out the awards as well for the Milwaukee group. We're super excited to have the Milwaukee group up here with us and here at Lambeau Field. It is really exciting to hear how well the first session went in Milwaukee. We couldn't be prouder of the work that the mentors and proteges put in Milwaukee, because as everybody's talked about, it does take a significant amount of effort. So thank you all. So the first award is for the most valuable protege, and that would be Kate Hill of the Conti Group. She was working for a company that was looking to be sold out of state, and so Kate and her husband decided that they didn't want that to happen. They wanted to maintain the jobs in Wisconsin, so they bought the business. and worked with their mentor to show them how to optimize the processes, and really resulted in a significant amount of growth in the business. And they were mentored by Ernst & Young, Lorenzo Bell. All right, the most valuable mentor, that would be Rafili Gold, who mentored Superior Equipment and Supply. She's from Northwest Mutual Insurance and helped the protege not only by keeping them accountable for their goals, but took initiative to coach and mentor the next generation of the protege company's leadership to be able to continue business transition and success. And the comeback player of the year in Milwaukee is Annette Tipton of Able Access Transportation. Mentored by David Rocker. So she got off to a slow start due to some health issues, but she came roaring back, and she's currently experiencing exponential growth and is hiring new staff members and is well set to be able to successfully grow her business. Congratulations.
All right, thank you, Dr. Hartman. Thank you again, Mark, for your help. And with that, that concludes today's event. We appreciate everyone for taking the time to be here this afternoon. And we might all need to stick around and enjoy each other's company, do some networking. And we've got some refreshments here off to the side, so feel free to stick around. But again, thanks for coming and enjoy the rest of your day.